Thanks for tuning into our podcast, Getting Down to Business. I'm Jill Brown, Academic and Career Advisor with the Moon College of Business. And I am so excited today. I love our podcast days, but I just wanted to shout out to our dean, our campus dean, Dr. Gary Patterson, for allowing us to do the podcast and get to know so many resources on our USF campus. Also, our donors, Kate, Ellen, and Lynn with the Kate Tiedemann School of Business and Finance. So
awesome. Thanks for that, Jill. Everyone, I'm Ashley Curtis, Career Counselor and Internship Coordinator for the Moon College of Business. And I am so excited because, again, we're bringing you another week filled with internships, how to make connections, and use your network and leadership skills.
And today we're going to get down to business with two gentlemen here with the USF's Real Estate Society. So if you'll share a little bit with our listeners about who you are and how you found this society.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'm Anderson Hardy. I'm the current president of the Real Estate Society at USF. And the way I got started was I was a transfer student coming in from Gainesville. And the first thing on my mind was, how can I get involved with USF? How can I stand out more than just, GPA and academics? And I was looking for a way to connect with professionals, connect with more internship opportunities and expand my network. And I had a little bit of an interest in commercial real estate, didn't know too much about it yet. So I gave it a shot by attending one of the Real Estate Society events, and it's only went up ever since then.
That's awesome. All right.
I'm Trenton Worley. I'm the Director of Marketing for the Real Estate Society at USF. When I joined USF, I became interested in real estate. I was interested in real estate throughout high school, so I figured, how can I get more involved in real estate and learn more beyond my real estate concentration? That's when I looked up, real estate clubs on Pulse Connect and found the Real Estate Society. And I attended my first meeting and got to meet the team.
It's so important you both took the impetus to reach out, research, find a club or org that is related to areas of interest. And that's something that we want to stress to students. And it's tough sometimes, like you said, coming from high school or as a transfer, you may or may not have that opportunity to get involved. And then here, it's like, ooh, I better get involved so I can, like you mentioned, Anderson, maximizing your potential. All right.
Awesome. And we'll get more into your roles with Real Estate Society. But before that, we want to get to know our guests a little bit better. And we do so by doing a rapid fire game. So Jill and I are going to take turns just in either or. Anderson, I'll start with you. Okay.
All right.
Do you prefer Netflix or a good book?
Netflix.
Trenton.
Say Netflix.
Skateboard or bike?
Bike.
Electric or the old school pedal? Nowadays, right?
Electric sounds interesting.
I did a old school bike ride yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So I'll say old
Nice.
school.
Very cool. And lastly, text or phone call?
Text.
Say phone call.
Oh,
I think
nice.
It's important to hear
Right.
people when you're speaking to them. And
I kind of miss phone calls these days.
Yeah.
The fluctuation is important. I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you both for playing. What is your number one reason, we'll ask each of you, of why USF students should join the Real Estate Society?
Why don't you go first?
All right. So I think the number one reason is primarily the opportunities that it brings you with careers and internships. Same reasons why I joined. We bring in a lot of speakers who are prominent names throughout the Tampa Bay, and it gives students opportunities to see people who've succeeded in their specific fields within the commercial real estate industry or residential industry. And it allows them to also connect with these people, have their network build up, and then also have someone they can call whenever the time comes, once they're getting close to junior or senior year, ready for that next step with an internship or a career upon graduating.
I think you learn way more when you're connected with peers. The Real Estate Society simply is a real estate mastermind for students who are interested in learning. And joining this group, I learned a lot, from Anderson and other students in the group. So if you're interested in real estate, the Real Estate Society is a good place to start.
And that's a perfect segue into my next question for you all. So who can join the Real Estate Society? Is it folks specific who are majoring in finance with a concentration in real estate, or is it open to everyone?
It is completely open to everyone, anyone who wants to join or anyone interested. We try to make it as, what's the word?
Accessible.
Accessible. Yes, thank you. We try to make it as accessible as possible. And we also make sure that we don't bring in people who are just going to start throwing out super large textbook definition terms that introductory students, such as when I joined the Real Estate Society, I wouldn't understand. So we try to make sure everyone is aware of what is being presented. And I think Trenton does a great job by marketing and summarizing what the event is going to be. That helps students so they can kind of gauge, okay, this is an event that suits me, it'll benefit me to go there, or whether or not it's something different that they wouldn't want to go to.
Awesome. I'm curious because earlier, Anderson, you mentioned you have different events with different Tampa Bay leaders in the industry. Who are some of the folks that you've historically brought in?
So we've brought in Jeff Gigante was actually the first event that I attended, and he's a local restaurateur and entrepreneur and real estate investor. He is the owner of Forbici and a lot of those different concepts, Fresh Kitchen, and he basically came in and spoke. At first, I didn't think I would get too much value out of it because I was thinking, well, he's a restaurant guy. I'm interested in commercial real estate, but he managed to tie it all together and explain why millions of dollars of real estate can help decide where this restaurant placement needs to be,
Location.
and it can impact everything.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks.
So tell us, what's the actual official process then to become a member? How many, do you just attend your first event, sign up, and you're off and running?
Yeah, so the Real Estate Society, you can join us on Bowls Connect.
Okay.
But we do make it so anyone can join our events. We host events. This semester it's been weekly, and we make it so everyone can join, even if you're not a member of the Real Estate Society. But to get news and emails and updates about our events that we have and we host, we recommend to become a member on Bowls Connect.
Okay. And along that same line, students are juggling classes, study time, exams, commuting, family obligation, whatever it might be. So what type of time commitment would you say a student would expect to join if they want to join?
I would say, well, currently based on how we've had our events this semester, an hour a week is what it seems. We try to keep it at that 6:30 p.m. time frame where it's not too late, but it's also like right around time when people are probably hungry. So we also try to provide food for all of our events, but 6:30 once a week, just for an hour. And it's of course based on whether or not they see the need to be a part of this event, if it suits what they're looking for.
Yeah, our events are completely optional. You don't have to go to events to become a member. So it's an hour a week at the very most.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty chill.
Yeah.
All right.
So we started talking a little bit about events. Do you want to dive into a little bit more about what types of events and industry engagements the club offers?
I'll let you handle that one.
Yeah, so we host a variety of events, anything from speaker panels to information sessions to site tours. We have a bunch of industry professionals come in. You want to touch on a few?
So we had, and this also goes back to the previous question, where we have Punit Shah, who's a prominent real estate developer. He came and spoke on hotel development, which is something that's not as easily accessible to students to learn about. So it was a very, very informative fireside chat event that we had. We also bring in brokers from different top tier commercial real estate brokerage firms. We try to do a lot of speaker panels. We haven't done too many this semester, but our final event coming up next week actually is going to be a speaker panel.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Who's
would be
on that
our
panel?
that would be our Woman in CRE event. So we have Nancy Surek, MK coming in. We have who else?
I'm not too sure on all the names. Sorry. I will mention though that MK Mahalik is one of our advisory board members as well. So it's awesome to have her there with us.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So how would you say the Real Estate Society prepares students for a future in the industry?
Yeah, so we've been changing how we do things this semester. We were gifted a great baseline with the Real Estate Society, but this has been a very high growth phase. Our first event of the semester was an intro to commercial real estate event hosted by our director of research, Cush Taylor. He basically gave students who were just now joining the Real Estate Society a comprehensive introduction to the industries within commercial real estate and all the fields in commercial real estate. And can you refresh me on the question one more time?
Oh, it was just preparing students for that future once they graduate. So
Yeah. So we'll do that with speaker panels as well. Like
Mhm.
Anderson said, we have a variety of brokerages come in and explain to our students the opportunities available and
Mhm.
any internship opportunities that they have. To name a few, we have Colliers, Cushman and Wakefield, JLL, and yeah, it's been great to be able to give our students an introduction, but to prepare for a further career in real estate, we are working on our development of extra real estate courses at USF.
nice.
And you were talking about the two coming up for the 2023-2024 school year. You want to shed a little light onto those courses?
Absolutely. So we have a brand new course offering, a real estate development course that is going to be taught by a local developer of luxury residential homes here in Tampa.
I'm thinking that's already filling up as we speak. I know it's not till next year, but I'm just saying students are going to be interested in that.
And we also have our valuation course, which a lot of students at first they think, well, I probably don't want to be in valuation, so I won't do it.
Yeah.
Until they realize almost every aspect of the commercial real estate space, it is very beneficial to understand the valuation process, especially with the economic cycles that we see today. Those valuations fluctuate a lot.
I think it's really nice that the club spends good time explaining the industry, some of, like you mentioned, the terminology and the opportunities that exist because it is so broad. Finance itself is broad, and then throw in real estate as a concentration or an option, and then you can almost get lost. And then having some valuable connections because I'm sure students can network with those panel members after, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then make those connections that they need that could lead to a possible internship.
You know, when we first did your introductions, you both talked about how you became interested in Real Estate Society. I am curious, can you talk more specifically about your roles and how you got involved in your current roles within the organization?
So I think Trenton's story is more interesting than mine, but I got involved. I want to say it was 4 months after I joined the organization. The executive board was doing a refresh essentially. People were graduating, they needed spots filled in, and there was an opening for treasurer. And interestingly enough, in my experience with any student organization, that one is always
That's the one
unfilled.
spot. We've heard that from other clubs too.
Yeah, people for some reason they don't want to be treasurer, and so of course I was like, this could be my way in the door.
Finance majors don't want to be treasurers. Come on.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm just kidding. Anyway.
And so I joined as the treasurer. That was a pretty intense role. So I was able to see why a lot of people try to veer away from treasury roles, but it gave me an understanding of the club operations in a sense, how to make sure that we budget things accordingly, how to make sure that we do have enough funding for the food and all the drinks that we want to provide, and just our general marketing and merchandise that we were handing out to students. So that kind of segued me into a higher role. I was not planning on being president, but the opportunity presented itself. And after talking with our faculty advisor and talking with my predecessor, Zach, I decided, okay, well, maybe I can do this. Wasn't much of a speaker. I was more of a number cruncher. You know, I like being behind the scenes. I did not like the idea of hosting events, but sure enough, I actually enjoy it now.
I remember when I was an undergrad, I had a professor who really instilled the just say yes to opportunities. And I think that's an excellent way of, sometimes you might be sitting on the fence and unsure, but if you actually say yes to something, you might actually find that you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've heard that from many industry professionals in real estate. They say yes to everything so you can start to say no to some things.
Yeah. How about you, Trenton?
Yeah, so I became a member of the Real Estate Society in early 2022. And unfortunately, I didn't attend an event until December of 2022. So it was a long time coming. And my first event, I forget what the event was, but it was very informational. And I asked Anderson, I came up to the first person I saw in a suit after and said, hey, you know, I like what you're doing. How can I get involved? So Anderson gave me a few tasks here and there, but I wasn't an official executive board member of the Real Estate Society, so I couldn't do that much. And when the spring of 2023 election came along, I had already been doing some work for the Real Estate Society, so I kind of fell into the director of marketing role. And with that, I have a team of 3 associate directors of marketing under me.
Oh, wow.
And me and my team are responsible for the promotion of events and student engagement.
Oh, that I think that's a great point too of, sometimes there aren't positions available, right? And so going up to someone and just saying, how can I get involved? Is there anything that you need help with? So that as you do this and you demonstrate your ability to do so, I'm just thinking, Anderson, if I'm you and I'm seeing Trenton, being able to deliver on certain things when the time does come up, I'm like, this is the person that comes to mind when I want someone in charge of my marketing.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it was too. And it all worked out perfectly with timing. Our biggest objective at the time was marketing because we previously didn't have an established marketing team. We just weren't seeing the growth we were looking for with our social media presence. We weren't doing enough to promote our organization. And Trenton came in and he fixed everything.
Well, that's what a future employer will also want to hear, right? All right. I want to ask each of you, what specific talents or opportunities do you feel that the Real Estate Society has given to you?
Yeah, so I think the Real Estate Society has given me certainly professional experience. It's funny because you think the Real Estate Society, while it is a student-led organization, you really do get some professional experience. With the executive board, being able to coordinate a team underneath me who's able to help me schedule events and promote them and make sure when our students are there, they're really deriving something of value. That's been very important. So I've gotten a lot of experience from my time at the Real Estate Society. And, if any students are interested in getting professional experience, I highly recommend joining a club and helping out in any way that you can.
Same for me. I would say one of the biggest things that I've gained in terms of opportunities would be internships. I'm now in my second one, and to put in perspective, our entire e-board, anyone who's wanted a real estate internship so far has gotten one. So the opportunities are endless for us. We have plenty of general members who aren't even, they've never even spoken to us on the e-board, and they have gotten internships through our organization as well. We really push for internships. We set up an advisory board this year. We brought it back because pre-COVID, there was an advisory board for our organization. And then, of course, like most things, fell apart during the pandemic. So brought that back. We now have, I believe, 12 professionals that are supporting our organization in the area.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are how we get those connections, how we get those internship opportunities, office tours that we've hosted. It's just helped us not only grow our student base, but also grow the opportunities that come with it, with being a member of the organization.
Students really do enjoy hearing about internship experiences, and I know you just started one. And I still want to, if you did something before that or not, whatever you wish. But would you mind sharing with our listeners about what your experience has been, like kind of what some of the tasks, what you've been assigned, so they can have an idea? Because sometimes it's a mystery out there, like what is an internship? What is this going to be?
Yeah, certainly. It felt like a mystery to me when I joined it as well. So I got a commercial real estate brokerage internship. And, it's a pretty broad term because I was their first intern. So I was kind of thrown into the deep end of the brokerage business. And, it's been interesting. I've gotten to learn about all the aspects of commercial brokerage and kind of the steps that it takes to operate one.
Okay.
And, that was only, I think, just 4 months now of time within an internship. So, if you're interested in real estate, I think just finding even local brokerages is very important. Because they're always looking for help.
Good.
We have the large brokerages as well that a lot of our executive board works at, but really, students should know that the barrier to entry isn't as large as you would think.
Okay.
To kind of go on that, my first internship was also a commercial real estate brokerage. It was one of the larger ones that specifically focused on investment sales, and I got that through the Real Estate Society, of course. Actually, I replaced a different e-board member who left there. And so then they had this opening again. And of course, I used that connection. And it really helped me to realize what I do like, what I don't like within the real estate industry, and it helped me narrow down things. But I was only there 3 months for that internship before a different opportunity presented itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of information that I learned about commercial real estate and how important the different aspects like valuation, the economical cycles, how much it affects everything was very crucial. And now he mentioned, smaller firms.
Mm-hmm.
Now I essentially am with essentially boutique real estate development and private equity firm, which I think gives you more hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're closer with the highest leadership because instead of being at a big brokerage with tens of thousands of employees,
Yeah.
you're in an office and all of the team is right there around you. You get more interaction with everyone. So I think going for those boutique shops, whether it's brokerage development, in real estate investing, if you go to a smaller firm, I think your opportunities are actually greater. You learn more from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to reiterate a point, Anderson, that I think you brought up. You talked about using your network, right? You filled in for essentially, or you took the spot of another e-board member. And so, I mean, in previous interviews with other guests, we've talked about how important it is to use your network. And I think that's even more of a point of why it's so important to get involved with student organizations so that you can use that as a base to start building that network.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you both for being here today. Before we have 2 final questions for you, but before I ask, just wanted to know if there was anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners as they think about why they should join Real Estate Society or benefits.
Yeah, so it's a great experience. Like we've been talking about, you can really expand your network,
Mm-hmm.
and students don't have to feel nervous that they're going in with the idea of taking something for them, which is a network expansion. It's our whole goal. We want our students to succeed, and we give them as many opportunities as we can to do so. Just a few things I wanted to mention. Our courses that we mentioned, real estate development and real estate valuation, those will be in our Instagram bio, USF Real Estate Society.
Yep.
And our upcoming events will also be there.
Fantastic. That's one of our questions. Is the best way to connect if you want. If you have other ways that you want students to connect, that's one of our questions. So,
yeah, in terms of connection, I would say our Instagram is the most active. We have a LinkedIn as well. We have a Real Estate Society website. And all of this you can find right on our Instagram, just at USF Real Estate.
All right. And my last final question for you both, Trenton, I'll start with you. If you were to go back and look at, your first year self, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say my advice would be to get involved and, don't be scared of the involvement that you'd be throwing yourself into. Within 4 months, I was able to do so much because of my connections with the Real Estate Society, and I can only imagine how much more that would have been improved if I'd been doing it for 4 years.
Awesome. Thank you, Anderson.
So essentially the same situation for me. I was very scared to get involved early on, and I was very shy. Didn't want to be any type of leader in some student organization. So I finally took that leap, and so far everything's just been great ever since. So I would say get involved early on, just like Trenton was saying.
Awesome. Thank you.
all right.
Absolutely.
You have heard it here first. Join the Real Estate Society. Do it now. Don't wait. And you can find them all over social media. Seems like pretty much anywhere and everywhere. You can find our podcast, Getting Down to Business, on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And we'll see you soon.